So I should have done that introduction for the recording. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this presentation. I'm going to be talking about how to be successful with book publishing. Publishing books like this. This is one of mine. This is cute. We're coming up to Halloween. Publishing little cute books like that or simple books. This is a big book. This is one of mine too. But this has got, just the same interior on every page. It's actually a blood pressure tracker, very useful for lots of people all over the world. But I also used AI to make a little bit of an ebook at the back, all about you like understanding the figures when you're doing your blood pressure and stuff like that. So I'm doing like a whole series of low content books. This literally takes a couple of hours to make, and then I can reuse the cover. And then I've been putting chronic pain tracker, lupus tracker, autoimmune tracker. So we're talking about creating incredible books in the easiest peasiest way, in a way that really lights you up. How fun would it be to create a swear word book like that? You might not be into swearing. I'm not, but I'm creating one for dads for Christmas, and it's so fun. It's actually getting my anger out creating that book. So I'm talking about book publishing, lots of books, or book publishing, maybe you want to do 10, 20, 30, like a small handful of, really amazing books. I've got a presentation to present to you today. Then I will switch off the recording so anyone can watch this recording all the way to the end. And then I'll take questions privately with you all here inside the Zoom room. So let me just see the chat. Everybody was just telling me where they're all from. Oh, Emma thinks I look fab. Thank you. I won't show you my hair because it's really bad. In fact, I blame Tina. I don't know if she's on live. We was having a big long chat and I didn't get time to do my hair. I'd plugged them in. I was going to curl it for you all. But yeah, instead I'm having to cover it up with a boss cap. But thank you. Oh, I'm loving where you're all from. Wow, we've got people from all over the world. Derry. Sheila is in Derry. I don't know where that is. I feel like it's in Ireland, but I might be completely wrong. Yeah, I didn't know Sheila was Irish. Lovely. So we've got Canada, amazing. The UK, Lincolnshire, Brighton, Newquay, Cardiff, Wales, Ireland, amazing. Right, so I'm going to share my screen. We've got slides if I can remember them. I did them on Friday, so I've had a whole two sleeps to forget them. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Get ready to get addicted about Amazon book publishing. Not necessarily just Amazon, actually. We can publish our books. I'm looking at publishing actually the colouring pages of mine on eBay and Etsy, and we can publish. I think Tina was saying to me, who's here today, I think she's here, is publishing her books on Ingram Spark and having some success with that. So it actually doesn't have to be just Amazon KDP. Right, I've lost the presentation button. Here we go. Let me know. Emma, I can see you on my screen. Can you see my presentation? Is it coming up? Thank you. Right, that is my AI twin. She's got a crown on. I thought that was pretty cool. My name is Abby Cornell. Most of you know me, but people are going to be watching the recording probably for the next 6 to 12 months of this one. And I used to be a business coach. I obviously am a business coach still because I'm a book coach, and having a book business is a business. So I'm kind of still a business coach, but now I'm a happy business coach. I was not a happy business coach before, but I've been doing that for 10 years, and I am now a book publisher. Very random, but I did my initial degree in English, and actually my first job when I left university was as a merchandiser traveling all over the globe. They used to pay me to fly to different bookstores all around the world. I mostly covered Europe, Ireland, the Isle of Man, Jersey, Guernsey, and I was the person that went to all the bookstores, checking the stock, filling it up, checking what books were selling, how we were marketing the books. And it's very random that I've now come full circle now that I'm nearly 50, back to my original job that I started after I left university. So yeah, so I've got a background in English, writing skills, language, and teaching and coaching. I've got it all going on. This training is how to be a successful self-publisher on Amazon in 2026. It is mostly for people who want to publish lots of books, but it will be massively useful even if you just want to create one for your coaching business or your business or a little series. I do recommend that you always try to create a series. Oh, how can I get these people in? Just one second. Um, I'm only gonna let these people in and then I won't be able to let anybody in after this. Um, Zoom has changed. I can't let them in. Claire's gone as well. Sorry, guys, I'm just gonna let these people in, but then I'm not gonna let any people in after that. Um, I actually can't see how to let them in. It's changed. My Zoom has changed. Sorry, guys. Participants. Everyone. No, I can't see them. What a shame. Right, I'm gonna make somebody I know a co-host just in case. Do you want to do it, Emma? Just in case you can find them. Make co-host, thank you. You might not be able to find them, and in fact, they might have disappeared. I think we lost Claire, but I think she's come back. So I won't be interrupting the presentation again. Sorry about that. I'm just conscious that we're still, pretty much at the beginning of it. So what was I saying? Yes, so this training is how to be a successful self-publisher on Amazon KDP in 2026. I only started my book publishing journey in February. And in fact, there's lots and lots of gurus on YouTube who have been doing book publishing since like 2014, 2015, crazy amounts of time. I am not that person. I'm not the person who sold my Amazon account for $1 million. I'm not the person who's making millions or hundreds of thousands selling books, but I am the person who knows how to make it work in just 8 months. I made it work actually in 3 months, and that is from working hard. But I didn't do everything right. I made a lot of mistakes, and that's what I'm here to share with you today. I'm now making about 2K, just over that per month. And I have worked hard this year. I only started at the end of February. And that I think there's certain things that I've done really well that have made it work. And I've also wasted a whole ton of time on things that really didn't stick and didn't work. So I'm going to be talking about those things with you today, hopefully, so that you can do more of what I'm doing right and do less of what I did wrong. Don't make the mistakes I made. So, if you don't know yet, I run a really low ticket membership called the Book Boss Wonderland Academy. It is stupidly low ticket at $9 a month. And I teach you how to create lots and lots of different types of books. A lot of people say to me, oh, there's too much stuff in this academy, Abby. It's overwhelming. But actually, each module is how to create a different type of book. So I might do a module on how to create a book in 24 hours using AI, another module on how to create word search books. So you absolutely don't have to do all the modules. It's a pick and mix of, well, what book do you fancy creating? Do you want to create a swear word book, a word search coloring book? Do you want to do, a more higher content book, like a how to overcome anxiety, that kind of thing. So hopefully that explains it if people get in there and they're a bit overwhelmed. I am going to say something really cringy now, so just let me cringe. But I am putting the price right up to $30 a month. I was toying between 30 and 47, and that will be in a couple of months' time. Anybody already in the academy before that time will stay at the price that they joined. And I'm sorry to say that cringy thing, but I've given a lot of feedback in that academy, and I've started to feel like, oh, these people are only paying $9 and I'm spending 2 hours giving feedback. And I don't want that energy to come through into the academy. So that is why I'm putting the price up. Oh my goodness me, we've got like warplanes going over my head right now. So that's the Academy. Like I say, I teach you how to create lots and lots and lots of different types of books and publish them on Amazon. Who is this video for? Anyone who is serious about being a full-time or even a part-time self-publisher. So you can definitely do this as a side hustle and predominantly using Amazon KDP, although I will be doing modules on how to put your books up on Etsy and eBay once I've done it myself. So that will be probably in January, February time. Um, you need to give this business 1 to 2 years to really let it settle. Now, I think of like when I went to university, I went to university for 3 years and I came out with a piece of paper. I didn't come out with a profitable business. I wasn't making profits. I didn't come out with anything other than a certificate saying I've got a degree. And I think the problem in the online space is we see something, we get on the bandwagon with it, we get excited about it, and then we give it a month or two and we get bored, and then we see something else exciting that came into our feed and we try that. And this isn't for you. If you're going to do that, you're going to waste your money and waste your time. You've got to be in it for 1 to 2 years minimum. I said to myself in February, this has to work, Abby. You've had all these health issues. You need to get to the place where you're getting passive income. In case you get sick again, you've got to have passive income. So I had a big why and a big reason to make this work. And I said to myself, I'm going to give it 2 full years from today, and then I'm going to look back and see whether it's been worth it. And boy, has it been worth it already, just 8 months in. And you need to really make that decision that you're going to dedicate the time to this business. It's perfect for stay-at-home mums who maybe don't want to go back to work. You've got a whole, however long on your maternity leave, is it 12 months now? I don't even know what it is, but you can really make it work during that time. It's perfect for empty nesters. I'm kind of getting to that stage where my kids just don't need me and aren't interested in me anymore. They don't even want to reply to my text messages, even though they've got their mobile phones right at the end of their arm. And so I'm feeling that sort of empty nesting feeling and like, what's my purpose and what's the point to life? And this has really given me a new purpose and a new point to my life. I absolutely love it so much. So it's for you if you're anywhere around that stage. Introverts, would you believe I am an introvert at heart? I like to just be at home on my own. I'm not a social butterfly. And it's perfect if you've got a more introverted personality core or ambivert or whatever. And you don't want to just throw yourself out there on social media. I had to throw myself out there so much being a business coach, and I didn't enjoy that part of it. I really didn't. And I really enjoy the introverted creativity of creating these books. It's for you if you're creative, if you've got the human design where I can't remember the name of it, you'll know probably, the one where you create lots of stuff. Oh, is it a manifesting generator? There might be two of them. If you've got that kind of personality that likes to create stuff, that likes to play around with Canva, like this is for you because you're going to be in your absolute element. People with health issues. So this was me. A year ago, I was in a wheelchair. I literally couldn't walk. I couldn't get upstairs. I was shuffling around. I couldn't get out of bed. It took me a few hours to really get up even. And I had an autoimmune condition and it was caused by inflammation. And basically, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't work. And it completely overhauled my whole life. And that was only, what, 18 months ago. And in those 18 months, I've got a handle on my health issues. I've realised what was causing the inflammation, also stress. And so this is perfect because you can do it when you feel well, when you feel creative, and you can just let your royalties come in each month if you're not feeling good, if you're not feeling well. And that's why I chose this business. For me, it was perfect for me. In this video, you're going to learn the best way to make self-publishing really work to generate you a full-time income in 2026. And beyond, people say, oh, Amazon KDP is saturated. It isn't. There are ways to make it successful, absolutely. Um, Step by step, we're gonna talk about what types of books you should create, how many books you need to create realistically to generate, an income that is going to change your life. When to run Amazon ads. There's a few people that want me to do some training on Amazon ads, and I will be doing that in the next few weeks. How much money do you need to invest in this business to make it work? Uh, and how to be successful with self-publishing. The best advice I have ever given, and I've forgotten this slide, I don't know what it is. I'm as surprised as you are. Um, oh yeah, this is good advice. Relax. This is really profound. When I wrote it, I was like, boom. The best advice I can give to you is relax. We don't have to scroll social media and start doing this, AI videos and selling this and digital products and this, that, and the other. Just effing relax. Decide that you're going to give this business at least 1 to 3 years. Exhale, put your shoulders down, smile, and commit to being in this process for the long haul. And it's just so freeing when you make that decision and you can just exhale because you are just going to be doing this for the next like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. And it is so freeing when you make that decision and you just relax. Nora, I've got you on my slide. She's here today. She's a superstar book bosser. And Nora absolutely loves it. She does it for a passion, don't you, Nora? Loves publishing books, loves creating books. And I found this on Nora's feed, was it yesterday or the day before? And she says, I've been publishing books since 2015, and it's only been in the last 5 months that I've been making sales that register. Like this month, I could use my royalties to pay my phone bill. It's not much, but in a cost of living crisis, every little helps. And I've seen Nora join Book Boss. Did you join in when I first opened it in April? Um, I've seen her go from strength to strength, and one of the main things is that Nora is getting a handle on her book covers. So she's got the enthusiasm, the dedication, the commitment, all the tick, 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 but now is focusing on high quality book covers that really catch the eye. And Nora, your income is just going to absolutely skyrocket over the next 12 months. I am certain of it. We can learn so much from Nora. And the secret that she has is that she just loves creating books. She just loves what she's doing. She's got the absolute perfect mindset for a successful self-publisher. And it's not going to take as long as from 2015. I know if Nora had joined Book Boss in 2015, she would have been paying those bills and a lot more by now. So this is part one. And if you've got any questions as we go along, actually put them in the chat because I'll come back to your questions at the end once I've switched off the recording so I can answer you personally. So you don't have to try and remember your questions, just pop them in the chat as we go along. So part one, how to make self-publishing work for you in 2026 and beyond, the pathway to success. So the best way to make self-publishing work, and this is hard to accept, but accept that most books that you make are not going to make many sales. They're not going to make many sales. So you're like, people put so much work into one book and then they put it out there and then they're like, I'm waiting for all my sales and my tens of thousands of royalties to come flooding in. But actually, when you compound your books, say that you're building a brand and you put another one on there. I'll give an example, Cottage Door Publishing. They're an actual little mini self-publishing house. Their first books wouldn't have sold, but then they did more, then they put more in, then people start to know the brand, then they buy one and they like it, and then because they like it, they look what other books Cottage Door has got, and then they start to make other sales based on people liking one of the books. And so where it's really slow at the beginning, suddenly people are recognizing that brand and they're publishing more and more books under the Cottage Door publishing brand, and suddenly then it just skyrockets. So you need to accept at the beginning that you've got time on the runway. There's a lot of time that you're going to be sat on the runway and just spinning those wheels. And it's about just really enjoying the process at that point and knowing that that is part of the process. Accepting that 1 in 10 books are going to probably stick on Amazon, or it might be even 1 in 20 are going to do well. And if you're really not good or you don't grasp the concept of creating a good book cover, it might be 1 in 30 of your books is going to stick, you know. So you've got to get good at all the aspects of book publishing and creating, and then it'll come down to, you know, if you're 1 in 30 and you keep learning how to do the book covers really well, it might go down to 1 in 20, and then in the future 1 in 10, and then you're going to get really good and 1 in 5 are going to stick. And when I say stick, I mean making you like 50, 100, 300, 1,000, 2K per book per month. That's a book that sticks, you know. So your strategy needs to be to create at least 20 to 30 books as your absolute initial stance, your initial strategy inside your mind. I'm in it for the long run. I'm enjoying the process. I love creating this stuff. And I'm going to create my first 30 books and just expect that some of them are just going to make little drips of sales here and there. And some of them, 1 in 10, 1 in 20, 1 in 30, is going to actually stick and make me, you know, a few hundred a month or more. That's normal because this is a third party platform. It's Amazon. Amazon has control of the algorithm. Amazon has control of which book of yours it's going to let stick. And it's got all these, you know, programs in the back end of it deciding which book it's going to let stick and which book it isn't, which book it's going to show and which book it's not. And we just have to rock and roll with that. And it works. If you're in it for the long run, it works. Go into this business with the mindset and the expectation that you need to create 30 books. And it's not as hard as it sounds. You know, I come from a background where somebody said, oh, it took me a year to create my book. But now we've got AI tools. There's different books we can create that are really easy. Like this blood pressure one I showed you at the beginning. It literally takes a couple of hours to create and publish that book. So, you know, it doesn't have to take weeks, months, and definitely not years. So these are some of my books, book covers, a couple of the covers that I made for book bosses. We have lots of fun and have lots of fun in your business too, creating 30 books that just light you up, that get you excited, that is fun to create. Like I created this little silly crimes word search colouring books, very random, but there are some word search colouring books that are doing really well. And I thought, well, I'm going to create, you know, 2 or 3 of them as well and see what happens with those. You know, word search books, colouring books, puzzle books, activity books, joke books. Yes, you can create higher content books. You can create any books that you fancy. I've got a lovely book behind me that's a self-love journal for women. You know, guided journals do really incredibly well. I've got a mental breakdown adult colouring book that you know, was really fun. Simple stress relief. These are from some of our students. I've got my Spooky Frog one there, Cozy Winter Word Search, and I actually you know, I have been publishing high content books as well in pen names that are not part of Book Boss. So that's my own personal strategy. There's no strategy that works and that doesn't work. All the strategies work. If you were just going to create low content books like this blood pressure one, if you just did that every single day, you know, at some point, some of them are going to stick, and then you're going to create a brand, and then they're going to fly. You're going to do more of what works and less of what didn't work. Oh, one of them isn't. I'm not showing you my best one. It's the bottom left one. It's not coming up there. That was my escape room book, and it's not showing up. That's a bummer, but that's a really, really good one. Oh, I'm just gonna have to refresh that screen. Hang on, let me see. Because you can't see them. So if I minimize it, it just needs the tab refreshing. It's because I'm doing too much. I just refresh that. Then now you can see that escape room book. There it is. And then I'll present again. Right, it should work now. So there's my awesome escape room book on the bottom left. But that actually took some creating that one. So, what I did was I just have randomly created like 30 books. I've got 67 books now, in 8 months. A lot of those are low content, so you don't need to get too worried about the number of books that I've created. You definitely don't need 67 books to create a decent income. But it's even better if you have got the discipline and the know-how and the intelligence to say, right, I'm going to create a series of books and they're all going to have matching covers. And this is a classic example. This lady, I presume she's a lady, Anna Robin, she only started book publishing 1 year ago. And she created this incredible book series of how to draw books. And she's making over 10K just on Amazon. And that doesn't include what sales she makes on her own website from building her own brand, from building her own email list, or any sales she makes from her social media, or any sales if she wants to put the pages inside as a digital download on Etsy or on eBay. I am looking at I just looked at each individual book on Friday to see how much roughly it's making per month using a free tool called Kip Scout. So I use a free tool called a Kip Scout Chrome extension. And it basically it's over 10K a month just from this series, and she could just keep expanding and expanding and expanding this series. She could go how to draw animals, how to draw space creatures, how to draw pirates. She could start to get really specific now that this series is doing so well. So where I started in February and was just creating books willy-nilly and really not understanding what books do stick and what books don't stick. That's the big mistake I made back when I first started. It took me 22 books. And I had a little dribs and drabs of sales, but I was getting really like, is this ever going to work? And then I was like, no, I'm in it for 2 to 3 years. Absolutely. It's fine. Just keep going. And yeah, 22 books for one to actually stick and now has made consistent sales over the year. But this self-publisher was savvy enough, way cleverer than me, to go, right, I'm going to create these books as a series and just go all in with this one topic. Now, my personality, I like to do different things and I like to have a challenge. So I've liked and enjoyed my journey of, well, now I'm creating batch cooking book for dogs. Now I'm creating chair yoga. Now I'm doing, actually, Claire, I'm doing my Scotch egg book. Like cookery books, like large content books. And now I'm doing these low content like blood pressure and medical logs. And now I'm doing puzzle books and colouring books and all of that. I've enjoyed that and I'm happy with what I've done. But if I really wanted it to work quickly and I wanted to hit the ground running, then the better strategy would to be to come up with a series like this. And it could be a series in anything. It could be a series of word search books. It could be a series of joke books, of fun facts books. For kids, it could be a series for adults. It could be anything. But, the point is that don't these look brilliant side by side? And Amazon pushes out book series. When somebody clicks on one, it will say people who bought this are also interested in this, and it will show you the series in the other books. And Amazon even sends out emails going, you bought how to draw for 8-year-olds. We have got another book that's been released by this author, how to draw I don't know, space creatures for 8-year-olds. And it will literally send those emails for you. So if you're really savvy, if you want this to work really quickly, think of a book series and a brand first, before you start your journey. If you can't think of it, have a chat with me. And if we still can't think of it, do it my way and just do random things that light you up and see what sticks. And then from what sticks, do more of those. Do more of those, do them better. Warning, a big warning sign here. Do not, and I don't care what any other YouTube guru says, I strongly think they're wrong, and lots of people have lost money doing this. Yes, there's YouTube gurus that teach you how to do ads. And yes, of course, they want you to buy their ads training and their ads program and their ads, whatever course that they've created. But I strongly feel that you are wasting money if you try to run ads too soon. Wait for your book to stick. Wait for your book to be making sales. Just a few, just 3, 4, 5 organic sales. And then people like your book. And then that money that you then start to invest in ads is probably going to be worthwhile. The problem is people make books and then they don't make very good book covers, and then people are not going to be interested in them. And then they'll spend hundreds of dollars on ads thinking that the ads are going to make the book sell. But it's the book cover and the book concept and the book name and the title and the subtitle. Those are the things that make the book sell. And Amazon ads just accelerates that. If the book was never going to sell in the first place, then Amazon ads are a complete waste of money. I've seen people waste thousands of dollars on ads and then quit the book publishing journey, even though they were really good at it and they just had a few more steps to take and they would have cracked the nut. So yeah, please don't do that. Sorry, Em, I've just clicked on ask you to unmute. I'm not doing that. If it just popped up. Another warning, do not get despondent if you don't make a lot of sales right at the beginning. This is totally normal. This is a third-party platform. And if you think of when you post on Instagram, if anybody's got an Instagram account, you post on Instagram, crickets. You post on Instagram, crickets. You post on Instagram, crickets. And then maybe like 1 in 20 posts or 1 in 30 posts, when you look at your Instagram stats, oh, that suddenly got, 3,000 views and all my others got 300. But that's part of the algorithm. That's the way algorithms work. They allow you to get visibility randomly. It's very random. And the more that you can think about the quality of what you're doing, the more that you can focus on the quantity of books you're publishing, and the more you can focus on the quality of your book covers, the more likely it is for those algorithms to show your books. So don't get despondent if your first books aren't selling. And this isn't me tricking anybody. I promise you, this is the way that it is. Don't get frustrated. This is what will drive you nuts. You'll say, I've created a would you rather book. So, would you rather book is like a book full of funny questions, usually for children. Like, would you rather have octopus legs or dinosaur feet? And they can have like fun asking those questions with the family. And if you think, I've created this amazing would you rather book for kids, and it's way better than that one there. And that one there is making $5,000 a month. And mine has only made 2 sales. And, don't get frustrated and don't get into that train of thought where you think my book's better than that. Why is my book not selling better? Because it's just pointless. It's just pointless negative thinking. I've definitely got into that thinking a few times. And I will do with my escape room book, I've no doubt, if it doesn't sell over Christmas, because I'm excited about that one. So ideally, you want to get really laser focused on creating your first 30 books in your first year. Very doable. It's very doable to create a book per week. Like I say, some of these are only took me a few hours. The escape room one, it's probably took me 2 weeks, and that's because I lost a lot of the work when we had this internet glitch on Canva. I lost it. And also, I'm doing this weird thing where people have to crack a code with each puzzle, and then they have to put the code onto a website in order to get a free colouring page. And that is taking me some time to do that. I'm working with Agnes on that. Who's in our Book Boss Academy, to make it like really fun, and they can get all these bonuses from each puzzle once they've escaped that room. Anyway, I digress. So focus on your 30 books. Create and publish at least one book per week. Like, really think about that. That is your goal, one book per week. Maybe not with your first couple, you need to go through the learning process. But after your first, two or three books, one book per week. And that is very, very achievable then to create 30 within that first year. And if you want to have a self-publishing business and build passive income, that is what you need to be doing and not getting sidetracked and not scrolling and going on this other training and this other course, because all of that will just eat into your time. And at this point, this is where you're going to face some choices, and choices are completely up to you. There's no right or wrong way. And remember what I said about every book will not make sales, not every single book. It might be 1 in 5, 1 in 10, 1 in 20. It might be 1 in 30 if you're really struggling with book covers. So I suggest that you get laser focused. But if during that first 12 months, if you publish a book and it starts to make a few sales straight away, then that is a sign that you could run ads to that book. So if you have got like $5 a day, I'm going to be doing this training in the next few weeks. And if you've got a book and you think, oh, that book has been making a few sales organically, that is the book to go, right, okay, I'm going to do $5 a day on this book and really go all in with then learning how to run an ad to that book that's doing well. And we can even make that better. You can make your book cover better because it's already selling. You can tweak it, you can dial in on it. You could add a bonus sticker to the front of it. You could create a better ad, like and get a little video made, or use AI tools to make a video for your ad. So you can make your ads work even better for you. There are lots of things that you can do once you get a book that's sticking. There's lots of things that you can do to amplify your profits. And this is a mistake I've made. I haven't done that. I've just gone on to my next book and my next book. I got 2 books blocked. In fact, 3 books have been blocked, just random for random reasons, like nothing sinister. And I've not gone back to them and republished them because I'm so like intent on doing the next book. So that's stupid that I spent all that time on those 3 books and I've not even gone back to republish them. So don't make that mistake because I'm just stupid for doing that. And I've also not run ads on the books that were doing well. So that's a mistake too. So I could be well beyond 2K months by now if I'd done these things at the right time and not just going hell for leather on the next one and the next one. Um, some books will make you sales and some won't. I keep saying that, don't I? I've maybe said that a few too many times. So this book, it took me 2 days to create. So I've got it here actually. Did I show you that before? So yeah, this book. 2 days. One day for the interior, I used AI tools for the interior, and it was really fun using those AI tools and making it really high quality as well. I did some little tweaks to it in Canva, where the AI goes a bit glitchy. I fixed it in Canva. And then it took me another day to do the cover and then the first few pages and the last few pages of the book where I ask people to leave reviews and stuff. So literally 2 days work, and it's already making me $150 in royalties. I've made 38 sales in just 1 month. It's actually not quite right. These figures is from, I don't even know what that is. It called Dibbly? I've got something called Dibbly that gives you the figures. So I've made more sales than that. But a couple of days work, $150 a month. And it might be because it's Spooky Frog. I don't think it's just going to sell at Halloween. It's not a Halloween book per se. I think it will make sales all the year round. And there's other books like that are doing a lot better than that anyway. But those royalties added up to another book's royalties, added up to another one. And then if you've got another one as well that sticks, then you're getting the dribs and drabs of sales from the books in between. And then some books just won't sell at all for whatever reason. It's all adding up and compounding. And if I got sick or if I needed to help a family member, those royalties keep coming in because I've already published those books and this is organic sales. So that's what is so incredible about this business. It's just like, oh, $150, that's not much. But when you compound it with other books and when you turn it into a series and when you turn it into a brand and you blow it all up, your whole business will explode at that point. Look at Coco Wyo is making like 1 million a month just on cute, comfy, cozy colouring books. It's a brand called Coco Wyo. There's another brand called Vivi Tinta. And they've expanded where they're working with illustrators. They've got that income coming in, so they can reinvest it into have an illustrator on the team and grow their team. So you can actually grow this business as much as you want or as little as you want. And if you don't have the funds to invest in your new self-publishing business, then you might not have the $5 a day to invest in an ad for like this book that's now making organic sales. Then you can choose to invest in your book covers. You can choose to invest in potentially Amazon ads. But if you don't have funds and if you don't want to invest anything at this stage, then I would recommend that you just simply create your 30 books, get your income from the ones that are doing well, and then analyze your sales and see which books are selling the selling the best. So you've got two avenues there. You can run ads and expand and grow and improve as you go along, or you can just go, I'm publishing 30 books and then I'm going to assess the situation at that point. You've got the choice of which way to do things. I do think it's faster if you can invest a little bit in ads. It's going to be faster progress. So, what to do after you've created your first 30 books? So, you haven't gone rogue at this point. You haven't got distracted by some random person in your Facebook feed selling you this other course on how to create lots of money creating videos with AI. Or whatever it is that I'm like, oh, this looks good. So if you've not gone rogue by this point and you're laser focused still and you're still enjoying the process, you'll know and understand so much more about the self-publishing process. You'll know so much from going through that process. You'll know which books are selling, which covers are working. You'll know how to do the process faster. You'll have a better workflow. You will have learned so much from publishing 30 books. You'll be able to see which books are selling the best, and you'll know at this point to see clearly the right path ahead for you. So you'll be like, oh, all these word search books are selling really well, and all these how-to books are selling well, and all my books on, ADHD and autism are doing amazing. You'll then be able to choose, well, which ones did I enjoy creating the most? Which path do I want to go down, or do I want to expand all three of these areas? So you'll be able to clearly see the best path for you forwards once you've done the reps. So doing the reps of creating the books and publishing the books will give you the data on how best to proceed. And that's when you're going up to the next level and the next level. I feel, Nora, you're at this point now where you can look back and analyze, well, what is doing well? How could I improve those covers and republish a new cover? You can analyze and dial it in more of what is working. Decisions moving forward. You will know which books are making sales at this point. You will know whether it's your most recent books because you've got better book covers, because you got good at it. You'll know which books you enjoy creating the most. And hopefully there's a correlation between the two, a correlation between the ones you enjoy and the ones that are selling well. Boom, you know what business you want moving forward at that point. You'll be able to decide whether to create a brand based on the ones that are selling really well, or whether to expand all your best performing books. Say you've got 3 good performing books, you might expand those 3 into a series of 3 each, 5 each, 7 each, like that book series I showed you in that slide with the how to draw books. You can expand the ones that are doing well. You'll be able to decide whether you want to invest at this point in Amazon ads if you haven't already. You might also decide, depending on what book you've created, you might want to put it on Etsy, on Amazon, get your own ISBN. You can buy your own ISBN so that you can have it in actual bookshops, have it on Ingram Spark. There are lots of different things you can do. if you've got a really good selling book. So there's lots of different avenues and pathways that you can then decide to take once you've got the data that you can analyze. You might at this point decide to invest in book creators and professionals, and possibly you might want to expand your team, and which will help you to accelerate your new brand. This is what Coco Wyo did. Vivi Tinta started off with one person, got a few books that were doing well, then started doing a social media channel with it. People started posting their colouring pages, and then the whole thing exploded, and they're making all those hundreds of thousands per month to pay their team. So they've got, I had a team in my coaching business last year or the year before, and it was like, am I going to make enough money to pay my team? And it was always a stress. But when you know all this money is coming in from all your colouring books, it's stress free, because you're like, yeah, I can pay an illustrator, yeah, I can pay a designer, and then you can just be the, I don't know, the I don't know what's the word, the manipulator of everything, rather than even be sat there creating your books at that stage. You can just be directing the whole process. So that's how exciting it is when it gets to this level, but you have to be doing it for a few years to get to that point. You might decide at this point to work with a professional book publisher. So you can there's even book publishers that say, oh, hey, I like your colouring book series, and we want to take it on under our book publishing house, a professional publisher. So there's lots and lots of self-publishers that have moved over to a professional book publishing house, because they've got the evidence of the sales, you see. So there's lots of people I know that have had an offer, in the emails. You can approach them yourself if you want to do that. You might at this point decide to expand your team and work with an external team of illustrators, or partner up with another book publisher. One thing I have done is I've had 7 books now created for me, like I've paid for them. So using some of my royalties, I've paid ghostwriters to write the longer books for me. So I'm just getting one finished now, excuse me, now on what is it? Emotional health for men. Um, and I just did the skeleton of it and the foundation of it using AI, and just created an actual plan, a really detailed plan for the book. And then I pay a lot less money by then having someone write that book for me, because I spent such a long time. I spent like a whole day creating that plan and making it really, really in depth, so that the ghostwriter is just like following the plan. It's easy peasy. And I don't get, that doesn't light me up, creating thousands and thousands of words. I get bored with that. So that's just a choice that I have made, is to reinvest some of that money I'm making back into having other books created that are higher content books. I should have said the difference between low content, medium content, and high content. Low content books are pretty much got nothing on each page, or the same thing on each page. Low content. Medium content, it would be like a word search puzzle book, or a colouring book, or an activity book, a joke book, fun facts, that kind of thing. Medium content, so it kind of takes, a few days up to a week to create. And a high content book, it can take a few weeks, a month, even longer. They're the bigger high content books. How it's worked for me. Honestly, I've had the best year of my life, and I really, really have, and I never expected it. I thought I was doing this business because I thought, well, that's the only business I can think of that will make me passive income, and I might get ill again and might get even worse, and I need to provide for my family. I never expected to have such fun and enjoy this business and this process so much. I've had the best year of my life since starting my self-publishing journey. I've made so many mistakes, I really have. I've made some really crap books, especially in the beginning, but I've also had many successes. I've made around $14,000 now without running ads. So I've not even run any ads properly. I'm just learning that now. But I've also invested $6,600 in getting help to have high content books published. I love publishing low, medium, and high content books, so I do a mixture of all three. that's not the right way or the wrong way. That's just the way that I'm choosing to do it. So I want to make sure I publish low content books each week. I focus on a medium one, and then that I've got a high content one in the pipeline. That's my personal workflow. But I probably couldn't have done that right at the beginning, but that's the workflow I've got into. I love publishing all the different types of books. That's the thing that lights me up. And I'm going to continue to create all three types of books. My favorite books are creating coloring books because AI tools are so fun now. And, you know, we don't have to sit here trying to draw one page for like, and it take me a whole day to draw one page. I can create 25 brilliant coloring pages in just a day. So my favourite books are colouring books and also my new escape room books that I planned into a series. And I'm just now starting to invest in ads only just now and scale up. And then I'm going to dial in the things that are working, build them out into series. And then hopefully you'll see me this time next year talking about my multi six-figure book publishing business that brings me, you know, passive income and recurring royalties every single month. So that's part one. That's the main part of my presentation. I hope you've learned a lot from that. I hope you've learned that nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes and I could have done things a lot differently, but I've enjoyed every part of what I've done. So part two is what types of books should you create? Do you know, I had somebody in my academy and she was there for a few months and she said, oh, I just got no ideas of what books I can create. And I'm like, what? I've got a book here. This is my, people laugh at me. I've got this beautiful little book with a lock on it is my book full of ideas because I've got way too many ideas of profitable books and I've not got the time to create them all. So I write them all down in this book, hoping to get to them at one point. So I was just gobsmacked. But I suppose maybe it's overwhelming and we've got just too many books that we can see on Amazon and we're just like, well, I don't know what to create. So I can understand that. So, what types of books should you create? And it's as simple as this. Research books on Amazon. Don't pay for any of these expensive tools. You don't need them. All you need to do is to look at Amazon and have a free tool called Kip Scout. There might be other free tools out there, but Kip Scout will tell you how many sales each book is making, roughly. I mean, it's not going to be exactly accurate, like it isn't accurate with mine. And it will roughly tell you how many reviews it will tell you how many reviews a book has got and roughly how much it's making per month. Research the books that have been recently published. Like, we don't want to see that a book from 2017 is selling every month and is making 10 grand a month. Research the books that have only just been published in the last 6 months, say. Have a look at them because when you click on them, it'll say publish date 24th of September and it might already be making thousands. And it's like, whoa, people really like this book and it's brand new. That is a sign of a profitable book and a profitable niche, a profitable title. Research the books that are doing well that have been recently published, and there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of those on Amazon for you to see. Go to the bestsellers. When you go to the bestsellers, click on them, then click on books that are recommended in a big what's it called, like carousel. Click on any of those and then that will send you down little different rabbit holes of joke books, fun facts books. I did a fun facts book about octopus. That's doing really well. And I really loved and I really enjoyed creating it. And I would have never done that if I hadn't gone down these little rabbit holes of what's selling well. Make sure that they've not got a big brand. You know, sometimes if they've got a big brand, they could just release any old crap and it will sell. So if you can see a self-publisher has published a book and they've not got a big brand, so when you click on the person who's the author and they've not got like 2,000 books, then that's a really good sign that something like that is going to be something that you want to be creating. So if there's like a self-love journal for women and it's making like 200k a month, then you might go, okay, I'm going to do a self-love journal for teen girls because this self-love journal for women is doing so well. And I can't really see a very good one for teenage girls, So you can use those best-selling books as like your beacon of light to give you the inspiration for your unique book. We don't want to be recreating that book, you know, um, self-love journal for women. It's already making loads of sales. So why would we create self-love journal for women when we're just going to be competing with that amazing one? So try to do one that is just like the one that is selling really well, but that has a different spin on it or a different audience, a different person it's targeted to. So yeah, so you want to check the bestsellers list, click on them, find the ones that are, we're mostly focused on non-fiction books inside the Book Boss Academy, although there are some fiction book writers in there, but they do take a bit longer to create. Write a list of all those books, write down how much income they're making per month, write down how many reviews they've got. Because it's the ones that are making higher income with a lower number of reviews. They're the best types of books to emulate, to do your own spin on, because it tells you this book doesn't need a lot of reviews to sell. This book has only just been published in the last few months and it's making lots and lots of sales. They're the ones to really look at and think, how could I make a book that's like this or better than this even? Choose a book that you know you can create. Like I tried creating a monochrome colouring book, and oh my goodness me, that was just a disaster. I lost a whole week of my life and I couldn't create it. I don't have the design skills. I didn't know. Naomi, I think she's here live with us now, has managed to do it, has managed to create it. I don't know what tools or software she used. Maybe if she's still here, she could put it in the chat. But I gave up on that in the end. So think about, well, what can you actually create? Like some colouring books, that these absolute gorgeous ones by Coco Wyo. I couldn't create a colouring book like that. I'm not an illustrator, I'm not a designer, and I don't really fancy going trying to find an illustrator and hoping and praying that they're a good one. So I've not gone down that route. What I've done is I've created more fun ones, funny ones, spooky frog one, swear word ones. They're easy to create using AI tools. So I've just thought, what can I create with my skills rather than trying to like do something that I don't have the skills for? Yes, I might have the money now to invest if I wanted to get an illustrator. I could do that, and I might do that one day. But have a think about what are your current skills, what is your current knowledge, what's your current training, and what's your passion? I'm now creating a book about Scotch eggs because I'm obsessed with making them because they're very good for my anti-inflammatory diet, high nutrient contents. Sorry, vegans. Um, and so I'm creating a book about that because it's part of my life right now, and the blood pressure logbooks and things like that. They're very relevant to me in my life. Also think about how can you create a brilliant book cover. So you might think, oh, I can create this book, it's going to be amazing. And then you might not be able to create the cover. Do the cover first. If you're in the Book Boss Academy, get my opinion, get my feedback. I give long feedback on how you can improve every single book cover. Post it in there. But your book cover is everything. Your book cover is your doorway to sales. It doesn't matter what is in your book. If your book cover is no good, or if it's just meh, it might be medium good, but it's not going to sell if you've not got a brilliant book cover. Choose a book that excites you and that you are chomping at the bit. This is a bit of a saying here in the north of England. You might not know what it means, but chomping at the bit, it just means like, I really want to create it, and you actually don't care about anything else in your life other than sitting down at your computer and creating that book. That is this level of excitement that I have when I start a new book. And now usually the excitement just gradually fades to zero the longer that I spend on a book. And that's why I don't do the high content ones. Choose a book that you're able to put your own unique spin on so it doesn't just get lost in the sea of other books that are the same, the same, the same. What's unique about yours? And it could be like that there's prayer journals that do really well, Christian books do really, really well. And it might be all the prayer journals are white and they've got white book covers. Actually, I'm going to create a beautiful one with a black book cover. And that could be just how your book stands out amongst all of the others. You might have bonuses in yours, or like, I don't know, bonus prompts, bonus extra prompts or something at the back, and you might put a sticker on the front of your book to say bonus prompts included. So if your book is the same price as the other ones and you've got a bonus thing at the back of yours, then people are going to go, oh, which one should I get? Well, I'll get this one because it's got the bonus blah blah blah, what's it at the back of it. Give people a reason to choose your book, and you're not going to go wrong. If you've got a really nice book cover, you've given people a reason to choose yours, then boom, you're going to make sales. This is what people are not doing. I want people to do this more. Choose a book that doesn't have too much market saturation. For example, there are thousands and thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of bold and easy colouring books. Now, colouring books are a little bit different because people consume them, they want another one. They consume them, they want another one. So it's a bit better to make sales of colouring books than it is like high content book or a low content book. But if you're just creating like bold and easy animal colouring book, well, there's already hundreds of thousands of those. We've got to think of, well, what's unique about mine? I was going to do a zombie apocalypse colouring book. I've not got round to it. It would have been a good one for Halloween, but I've not got round to creating it. But I thought that would be different. There's some serial killer colouring books that are doing really well right now. But again, that is an example of how a unique, funny idea can come into a saturated market, which is colouring books, and just absolutely fly because people are like, I want the silly crime colouring book. I want the serial killer one. I want the zombie apocalypse one. It's different to other things that are already there. Make sure you don't copy a book. So you're going to get a book that's doing well, a book that has been recently published in the last 6 to 12 months, ideally this year, to give you an idea. So this was one, I got this idea, it's doing quite well, it's been recently published. So, and then I went over here and created this dad's swear word one. So this is swearing therapy. Mine is completely different. It's for dads because I know how difficult it is to buy for dad's birthdays, for dad's Christmas. We're coming up to Christmas. This is the dude one. It could be for brothers. Nobody knows what to buy a brother. And I've struggled with buying for men. And I'm not saying men are going to absolutely love doing a colouring book, but it's a really fun gift. And I do think some men will sit there and actually enjoy colouring in the swear words because it's a little bit naughty. So that's how I've taken an idea that is doing well. It's doing well in several other different books as well. So I've taken that idea, put my unique spin on it, and then made it for dads. And I'll be selling it as a series over this Christmas and running ads to it, hopefully. Part 3, how many books should you create? So they hopefully have got an idea of what book to create. But part 3 is, well, how many do you need to create? We've kind of already touched on this. But I've already said that I need you to be really laser focused on creating and publishing your first 30 books, no matter what. But let's talk about low content books, medium content books, and high content books. If you're creating low content books and you want to focus on those, look to create and publish 1 to 2 books per day. You're allowed to, at the time of making this video, we're allowed to publish 7 books per week. Now, it used to be 3 books per day, but apparently Amazon has only just changed it to 7 books per week. If you're creating medium content books, look to create and publish 1 book a week. So colouring book like this took me a couple of days. But, I just want the rest of the week off. I don't want to be just sat here creating books 24/7. I want a life. So look to create and publish 1 book a week if you're looking to do medium content books. If you're doing high content books, aim to do 2 a month if you're really focusing on those. Jeanette, is my assistant. She's in the Book Boss Academy. She's doing amazingly well. Has created, some books that are selling amazingly well on, I think it's PDA autism. And that is a case of, oh, I've done all these high content books and now some are sticking. So now she's dialing down on that topic and creating other books around that topic that is a winning topic for her. And she's been doing that, at least one high content book per month since we started the academy. So, which books are the best? I try to publish one low content book every weekday, 4 days a week. Yeah, because it just takes 1 to 2 hours and I'm using the same covers. If I'm doing a new cover, yeah, it might not be for that week. I try to publish one medium content book every week. So that's 4 a month, unless I'm on holiday, like I am this week. Would you believe I'm on holiday right now? And I'm also publishing one high content book a month, but I pay a company called Urban, I've forgotten the name of them now. I think it's called the Urban Writers, but I want to say Urban Ghost Writers. No, it's the Urban Writers. And I reinvest some of the royalties that I'm getting from Amazon. I reinvest that into getting professional writers to write the books for me. I research the niche, make sure it's profitable. I do a really detailed book plan, so I make sure the cost of that is like $300 as opposed to 1,000, 1,500, because I've done the hard work, the research, the title, the subtitle, and a detailed plan. So actually, you can use AI tools to bring the cost right down of using writers, designers, and illustrators now. It doesn't cost what it used to because we didn't have these AI tools. How many books you publish and how often and when is totally up to you, whether you're doing this full-time, part-time, as a side hustle, you're just having a go at it for the next few years. You might be just doing like one a month for the next few years. My goal is to provide a full-time income for my family, an income that I can rely on. And my goal is to do that within 12 months of me starting my self-publishing journey. My goal is to pay for my daughter's schooling in 12 months' time because she's going to be doing her GCSEs and her school is really rubbish. And I'm really thinking I want to put her in maybe a better school in 12 months' time just to do her GCSEs. My goal is to have a financial cushion in case my health declines again, like it did at the beginning of 2024. So I've got a really big why with really big goals and a really big reason to succeed in this business. So what is yours? What are your goals? So you can think about that in your own time, but that keeps you motivated and keeps you on track. And part 4, when should you run Amazon ads? I have covered this already. Most book coaches will advise you to run Amazon ads every time you first launch a book onto Amazon. Yes, that is what most people are saying. I think it's insane. The idea being that if it doesn't sell with that extra visibility offered, then the ad spend on that book means it's probably not going to sell. So you've got basically a dud book, and at least you know at that point. But it would cost you a lot of money to be running ads on every book that you publish. I suppose unless you're doing like a series of fiction books or something like that. If you're just doing a few books, maybe it makes sense on high content fiction, for example. But definitely not on what I'm talking about today. Ideally, for every 100 people who click on your book, you're going to be wanting to see at least a minimum of 3 sales, but ideally a lot more. And that is called your cost per click. You will pay Amazon a certain amount of money per click that people click on your book. And out of 100 clicks, you want at least 3 sales. I'll be teaching a lot more about that inside my academy, but just so that you know, that's what you're looking for with your Amazon ads. You want to get your cost per click right down, and you want to get your number of book sales for every 100 to be going up and up and up. The way that you do that, improve your book cover, improve your ad, improve your video, improve your ad copy, all things like that can improve the performance of your ads. You never know whether people are going to want to buy your book for sure until you've had 300 to 1,000 clicks into your book. And Amazon ads will tell you, you've got 100 clicks, 200 clicks, 300 clicks, 1,000 clicks. Then you've got the data to know, well, how many book sales am I likely to make with this book? Am I in profit? Could I make the cover better, the copy? Could I make the ad better? You might then do that. You might then be in profit. You might have just been breaking even, but when you dial these things in, you might be then in profit. Then you can just run that ad and just keep it running and running and running and keep your eye on it. As long as you are in profit from your ad, just keep it running. That's where you get the passive income. You're only going to really know how many sales your book is making once you've started running those ads, and it's very easy to lose a lot of money. So you've got to keep that under control and have some good training on how to keep your cost per click down. Just be warned, Amazon ads often don't work. It depends on the book. They often do work as well. Why can running ads go wrong? This is where it goes wrong. Novice book covers. Number one reason, more learning to be done, more work to be done on those book covers. If a book cover's rubbish, people are not going to click on that book. It could be the best book in the world. It's not going to sell. A novice ad with novice levels of what we call A plus content, or your advertising, marketing content, your images, your graphics, your little video. Maybe you need more training on ads. This is a learning curve in itself. I'm just on that journey right now. Maybe you're not sure how to analyze the ads data to see what that means. Maybe you've got no book reviews on the book yet, and therefore you've got more cautious buyers. But once you get your book reviews up, your performance on your ad is going to get better and better. Maybe you've not got an established brand name, and that's something that you can grow and grow over time. Maybe you've not got an expandable book series, so the ads cannot fuel side sales. They cannot fuel people clicking onto it and then clicking into your other books. So that's often something that ads can do for you as well if you've got a book series. So a lot can actually go wrong with running the ads in reality. What's my advice? Sorry, I was a bit tired on Friday when I did this slide. Don't be a dick when it comes to Amazon ads. And I was just thinking of all the people that I know that have wasted thousands in Facebook ads, even as a business coach, and definitely on Amazon ads. So my advice when it comes to ads, just don't be a dick. Be responsible. Come and talk to me. Just don't be just throwing money at it, thinking that at some point it's going to stick. It's not. Don't run ads unless you have a book or books that are selling organically. That is a big signal, a big thumbs up. And you can run ads to this book, it's already selling. Wait until you've published at least 30 decent, high quality books. Wait until the quality of your book covers are so much better before you run ads. Wait until you know what you're good at and what you enjoy until you run ads until after your 30 books. Once you know what is selling well already, the ad spend is not so much of a risk. Some publishers lose thousands, if not tens of thousands, and they just throw it down the drain. And finally, part 5, and then I'll take questions and we'll have a chat if anybody's got any questions. What money do you need to invest? And this isn't like me, selling my program or selling my academy. Funnily enough, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But that isn't what this is. Well, what money do you need to invest in your book publishing business? Just so that you know, a lot of people ask me this. So what's the investment required? Non-negotiables to me, looking at my journey over this year. I think that you do need to join a self-publishing membership, and that's not me plugging mine. There's lots of them out there. You need to be in with other book publishers, be able to debate, talk about what's working, what's not working. You know, I didn't even know that I couldn't publish 3 books a day until Jodie, one of our book bosses, told me that it had changed to 7 a week. You know, I didn't even know that. I missed the memo. So you get all the recent, current, what is working, what isn't working when you're in a membership with other book publishers. I think that is the number one essential because it can feel a bit lonely that you're doing this on your own because you're just at your computer just doing it. Um, like I say, there's lots of different memberships. It's probably choose the best one depending on what kind of books you want to create. So I think that you need that as the number one. And you've also got the training in those types of areas. And number two, you're going to need ChatGPT paid version. Now, I have previously said, oh, you don't need the paid version, you can use the free version. Do you know what? It's too slow and it will stop and it will only allow you to do so much. And you don't get all the other access to all the other GPTs that are so useful within ChatGPT. You can search like colouring book creator, colouring page creator in within ChatGPT if you've got the paid version. And it's not, I don't even think that's an investment. You can use that in your life for your health, for fitness, for anything else. It's not just for your book publishing business. So I think you need the paid version of ChatGPT. You need Canva. I think you need the paid version because I use AI to create a lot of images for my book covers, but then I'll remove the background using the background remover in Canva. And I, then create my final version of the cover in Canva. So I think that's a must personally. And I think as a beginner, you need one other software, depending on what kind of books you want to create. Some software like maybe BookBolt, that's the one that I use for word search books, puzzle books, and low content book publishing. Nano Banana, would you believe that's a thing? That is Google Gemini's version of like an image graphic design software. Well, it's AI software. Nano Banana is free. I use it nearly every day. It's so brilliant. It does high quality book covers and gives you great ideas. Also, DALI is a part of my paid ChatGPT. Those two things, I've said DALI is free. I actually don't know, but it's in my paid ChatGPT where I use DALI. I don't know if DALI is free or not, so that could be an error on my slide. But Nano Banana is free. DALI for me is inside my ChatGPT. You're going to need them both if you decide that you want to create your own book covers. And ChatGPT is what, $20 a month or whatever it is. Paying for a book cover designer, it will be $200, $300. Might get something for $50 or $100. You know, if you've got a designer maybe living in wherever, I'm trying to think, India or somewhere like that. I also use Kip Scout. I've mentioned that before. That's a free Chrome extension, and that tells me what books are doing well, what books are making sales, how many sales they're making. I think that's essential as well. So those are the non-negotiables. The total investment there, I don't know. Is it under $50 maybe? There, all of that is under $50 for all of that. And that is to create a profitable self-publishing business. I think that's amazing. What other business could you create with that investment? There might be others. I don't know. I don't know of any. Um, nice to haves. Nice to have. I have Mid-Journey. I've got a love-hate relationship with it. I pay for it. It creates really highly designed graphics, but I'm just not very good at programming it. But I have used it for some of my book covers. Like I think I used it for my escape room one, and that's my favorite book cover. So I do have that. I also have Artistly, and that is great when I create book covers like this one that have got little images because Artistly is $47 for the year and creates really nice quality little images. Or if you were doing a how to draw book, I think Artistly would be a brilliant investment. So that's $47 for life, really good little tool. It can create really good quality little mini designs, like kawaii creatures and animals and cute things. Great for any book cover. Book Bounty is a great investment for getting book reviews for your books. If you're going to publish a book and do it free as an ebook, we can give you reviews inside the Book Boss Academy as well. We can swap reviews. We've got a spreadsheet for that. But Book Bounty is a paid way of getting book reviews for your books. And Bookbeam is something I pay for as well. It's really useful for researching profitable niches and keywords, but you don't need it. You can just look on Amazon at what is profitable and use Kip Scout. I actually don't really use Bookbeam anymore. I did at first. Optional, depending on the speed that you're going out. These are optional investments. Working with a book cover designer, for example, somebody that you find on Fiverr or 99 Designs. Working with a ghostwriter if you want someone writing and editing your book. I use the Urban Writers. If you create your book plan using AI tools, that drives the cost right down to around $300 a book. Working with professional designers or illustrators, especially if you want a really good, solid, like colouring book brand, for example. I do think that's essential in the long term, but you can reinvest your royalties to get to that stage. This is usually essential if you want to scale a colouring book business, but you can get started using AI tools. You can start making sales really well using those tools. You can find illustrators in many places, including Fiverr and 99 Designs. Warning, they are very weird brand of human being, in my experience. Working with these illustrators and designers, it's not as easy as I thought, but just be warned about that. Working with an Amazon ad specialist, I've got no experience of that, but I'm sure that would be a nice thing if you got to that stage and that level. I thought part 5 was the end. This must be the end. Part 6. Oh yeah, we're going to recap all of the main points. For those of you who got distracted, you had to let the dog out for a wee, whatever it is. Let's recap the main points that I wanted to make on today's session, and then we'll have a chat. I'll take any questions that you've got. So key takeaways, I think I've got 3 slides. Give your self-publishing journey an absolute minimum of 12 months, ideally 3 years. That's what you would spend on a university course to get good at the thing that you did a university course in. You need to get good at it. You're not going to be good at it right at the beginning. You're going to be crap. Give yourself a minimum of 12 months and 30 books right from the start. Otherwise, if you're not committed to that, you're just wasting your time and money and your effort. You might as well just go and, I don't know, eat egg yolks and sing Kumbaya. I don't know, do something else. Plan your publishing schedule and plan your profitable books. This is a mistake I've made. I'm all over the place. I'm scattered. I'm ADHD, crazy. I want to do this. I want to do that. But if you're better than me, more savvy, plan what you want to do. Plan a book series, plan a brand. You know, you don't have to stick to that brand forever. You could go and create another brand, but do some planning. Aim to publish a minimum of 1 book a week. Make sure that you're on track to create your 30 high quality books in your first year of your first 7 months, 7 to 12 months of your publishing journey. Focus on standing out with your books. Focus on having an incredible book cover. It should take you 1 to 2 full days just to create your book cover. So I get people, I did this prompt. Nano Banana gave me this. What do you think? And I can tell they spent like under 30 seconds on the book cover. You need to spend longer than that, ideally a whole day. Join a coaching mentorship to help you with your book covers, or have your book covers designed by a cover designer. It is so important. You know, you could have brilliant books, but if you don't have great book covers, they're not going to sell. Don't run any ads to begin with. Stay laser focused and focus on getting your 30 books created and pressing that darn publish button. Yes, if you suddenly get a book that's taking off, making sales, yes, that's an indication that you could run some ads to it. That's completely up to you. Don't think about running ads until your book is making sales organically. If your book is high content, Ideally, don't run any ads until you've got some book reviews. People will really look at the book reviews for your high content books, not so much with colouring books, word search books. People don't give a shit. So it's not so much of an issue, but and that's another reason why I don't focus massively on high content books, because I don't want to spend a load of time trying to get book reviews. It bores the pants off me, but it might be good for you. It might be your thing. Choose profitable books that you can also stand out with your book. Focus on creating a high quality book every time. Have lots of fun and enjoy your book publishing journey. Know your why and join a membership to stay motivated. Accept that most books will not make many, and some books maybe won't make any sales. Or to start with, might start making sales in 2 years. I know book publishers that are still making sales from books they published in 2014, 15. Only 1 in 5, 1 in 10, 1 in 20, it depends on you and your skills, will sell. And you need to get to that level and then improve on it. You need to know where you're at with that. This depends from person and person and on the quality of your book covers and designs. Amazon is also a very temperamental platform with an algorithm that nobody understands. So don't try to understand it. Don't try to analyze why other people's books are selling and why some of yours are selling and not others. Don't overthink it and just keep going forward. And my advice is to honestly just create whatever books you feel like creating in those first 30. Sure, creating a brand or a series would be great, and it is great, and it is savvy, but it's more important at the beginning that you enjoy the process, you enjoy your business, you enjoy your journey. Try out low content books, try out medium ones, try out high content books in those first 12 months to see which books you enjoy creating and which books you're good at creating. And final words from me. I think these are the final words. As crazy as this may sound, I think self-publishing is the only online business model that I've ever come across that cannot possibly fail as long as you just keep going with it. And that's my honest guarantee. If you have a bit of smart intelligence about you and you're able to learn and improve, then that's all you really need to be successful with self-publishing. Like other online businesses, some people you just can't do it. Like with coaching, I see some people trying to create a coaching business and they just can't do it. But with self-publishing, you're going to get better the more that you do it. You cannot fail at this. The more you build your brand and grow your brand and your email list, and the more that you publish more and more books, the more people will get to know you and your brand, get your emails and buy more books from you. It cannot fail. It is a business that cannot possibly not grow, providing that you do not quit. Whereas I found that having a coaching business was the complete opposite. Amazon gives you visibility. Amazon wants the good books to stand out and make sales. They want to make money too. They want your books to sell. So once you start making regular sales, and you just keep publishing, your success is absolutely inevitable. And that is the end of my presentation. Hope you enjoyed it. Definitely, if you're watching this on the replay, I don't know what I'm going to put with this video, but check out the links below or above or wherever they are. Check out whatever I've put with it. And I'm going to finish the recording now and see if anybody's got any questions, and I'll come into the chat to see if I've missed anything.